So now we have the President of the United States openly committing high crimes and misdemeanors. I think we need to talk about this a little bit. So in a conversation on the phone on Saturday of this weekend, President Trump decided to have a conversation with Brad Raffensperger, who is the Secretary of State of Georgia. As many of you recall, and first of all, by the way, I didn't want to dive in my first real day of doing the Daily Octane again. I did not want to necessarily dive into politics right away. I actually had some other shit in mind, but here we are because Tangerine Palpatine cannot help himself one little bit. Anyway, he phones the Secretary of State of Georgia and goes on an hour-long rant and back and forth conspiracy theory rant about voter fraud and machines and yada, 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 yada. But the takeaway on this is, and this is in the New York Times, by the way, if you want to go check it out, it's right here. It's this piece right here. The New York Times is reporting that he basically is committing election fraud. He's telling a person who is in a position of authority over the ratification of said election to find him votes. That's against the law. For a number of different reasons against the law, but this is very specifically against the law. So what I'm going to do here today is I'm going to go ahead and go through a little bit of this. Let me kill this music here. I'm going to go through, there's an excerpt in the New York Times. I'm going to go ahead and share that with you. I'll leave a link below. You can go check this out yourself later. But in this, I'm going to kind of break down a little bit of what you're hearing. The highlight that's on the New York Times is just a little bit under 6 minutes long, I think, or 4.5 minutes long, something like that. Let's go through this together. We'll see what's going on.
We have won this election in Georgia based on all of this. And we have won this election in Georgia based on all of this. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, Brad. You know, I mean, having a correct, the people of Georgia are angry.
Okay.
And these numbers are...
So, first of all, what he's saying is that there's nothing wrong with you saying that he won. Just saying that he won. Now, this is an election that's already been ratified. It's already been approved by the Secretary of State. It's been approved by all the people of Georgia. They voted, and they voted in high numbers. What Trump's upset about is the fact that there is there's a senatorial election. There's a Senate election that's happening on Tuesday, where there are 2 seats in the Senate up for election. I'm sure you already know this. You wouldn't be watching my channel, but there's 2 seats up for election, and there's a huge Democratic turnout already. Early voting is higher right now in the Senate election than it was in the general election back in November. So he's basically telling him to find votes.
It's going to be repeated on Monday night, along with others that we're going to have by that time, which are much more substantially. And the people of Georgia are angry. The people of the country are angry. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, you know, that you've recalculated, because...
There's nothing wrong with saying you've recalculated. In other words, like, if this guy, Raffensperger, was to walk in front of a television camera and say, you know what? I know we already ratified these election results, but we're looking at them again.
The 2,236 and absentee ballots, I mean, they're all exact numbers that were done by accounting firms, law firms, etc. And even if you cut them in half, cut them in half, and cut them in half again, it's more votes than we need.
Well, Mr. President, the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong. We talked to the congressmen, and they were surprised, but
I love this man. The Secretary of State of Georgia, a Republican, is vehemently pushing back at President Trump.
I guess there was a person named Mr. Raynor that came to these meetings and presented data. And he said that there were dead people, I believe it was upward of 5,000. The actual number were 2. Two people that were dead that voted.
So one of President Trump's people, most likely a lawyer, that went to the ratification meetings in Georgia was making false claims that thousands of dead people voted. This guy, again, Raffensperger, Secretary of State of Georgia, man's got a political future, Republican, pushing back at the president saying, no, sir, there were two, not 200, not 2,000, two people that were dead that voted, and they were looking into how that occurred.
And so that's wrong, that was two.
Well, Leader, how do you respond to that?
So they move into another section
Now,
here.
do you think it's possible that they shredded ballots in Fulton County? Because that's what the rumor is. And also that Dominion took out machines. That Dominion is really moving fast to get rid of their machinery.
Okay, so these are more OAN Newsmax claims that are being made. In other words, really super fringy, false news sites that are more propaganda arms of the Republican Party than they are actual news sites. As bad as Fox News has been over the years, these other two make Fox News look like liberal media. So regardless, what he's doing here is he's repeating claims that are all across social media that have their origins in these radicalized conspiracy theory sites, and he's repeating them. He's regurgitating them out to the Secretary of State and his lawyer, the lawyer for the state that's here right now. So they're going to push back again.
Do you know anything about that? Because that's illegal.
Ryan, no, Dominion has not moved any machinery out of Fulton County.
But have they moved? Have they moved the inner parts of the machines and replaced them with other parts?
No.
You sure, Brian?
I'm sure.
Okay, so that gentleman that's speaking right there is a lawyer for the state of Georgia and their voting systems. I forgot his name. I don't have it right here in front of me. But regardless, he was almost holding back a laugh. I mean, I don't know if you could hear it, but he was almost holding back a snarky laugh in response to what the president was asking him. And it was a very clear, like almost a sarcastic no. That's not happening. So what the president is asserting to here is that Dominion, the company that is the designer, maker, and distributor of the voting machines in many states across the country, is secretly going into voting facilities, breaking down the machines and taking pieces out of them and removing them so that they can't be investigated under the nose of all investigators in place.
I'm sure, Mr. President.
Mr. President, the problem we have with social media, people can say anything.
No, this isn't social media. This is Trump media. It's not social media. It's really not. It's not social media. I don't care about social media. I couldn't care less. Social media is big tech. Big tech is on your side, you know. I don't even know why you have a side, because you should want to have an accurate election.
I love this part. So the Secretary of State pushes back at him and says, you're repeating social media claims. People can say whatever they want on social media. We see it all the time. That's the biggest offender in the pre-election disinformation campaign that was being led by countries like China and Russia, is that they get these trolls that are out here, and a lot of them are operators of the said nations, to put up fake memes, to have news sites release articles that are complete false fabrications of the truth. And now the president is repeating these as if they're actual news, as if the New York Times or the Washington Post or any other news outlet has made these claims. They're not. They're falsehoods that are being generated by these people from foreign countries spreading false information. And the people that are the losers in this case, that want to believe that there was some fraud in this election, are grabbing onto these stories and spreading them. So the Secretary of State of Georgia pushes back and says, no, this is social media. And perhaps the funniest part of this whole thing is that Donald J. Trump, the biggest offender of using social media as a bully's pulpit and as a spreader of disinformation, says, I'm not talking about social media. Social media is crap. I'm talking about Trump media. He refers to it as Trump media, meaning OAN, Newsmax, and even Fox News. That's Trump media. These are media outlets that are the speaking arm of everything that Donald J. Trump wants.
And you're a
Crazy.
Republican.
We believe we do have an accurate election.
No, I know you don't. No. You don't have. Not even close. you're off by hundreds of thousands of votes. Because you know what they did and you're not reporting it. That's a criminal.
Okay, we're going to listen to more of this in a second. This is the first high crime and misdemeanor. Because up until now, he's been asserting why don't you look into things more? And that's some gray area. This is illegal. This is illegal. This is now turned into a different level of issue. Because now he is extorting. He's extorting, first of all, a lawyer. He's extorting a lawyer and the Secretary of State of Georgia. He's saying that these are crimes, that you are committing crimes. I'm going to go back a little bit here. You are committing crimes, and this is the man who is the head of the Justice Department. His leader in the Justice Department, William Barr, who is also quite corrupt, and that's a topic for another time, he's gone. Donald Trump just put a yes man, a puppet, in charge of the Justice Department, and then he's making claims of illegalities taking place, that there was criminal activities by choice premeditated in the state of Georgia. Let's listen in some more.
I couldn't care less. Social media is big tech. Big tech is on your side, I don't even know why you have a side, because you should want to have an accurate election.
Here we go.
And you're a Republican.
We believe we do have an accurate election.
No, I know you don't. No. You don't have. Not even close. You're off by hundreds of thousands of votes.
I went back a little too far.
Because you know what they did and you're not reporting it. That's a criminal offense. And you can't let that happen. That's a big risk to you and to Ryan, your lawyers. That's a big risk. But they are shredding ballots, in my opinion, based on what I've heard, and they are removing machinery, and they're moving it as fast as they can. Both of which are criminal fines, and you can't let it happen, and you are letting it happen.
Wow.
I'm notifying you that you're letting it happen.
Key.
So
I'm notifying you.
All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is
11,780 votes. That's the number of votes that would make him the winner of Georgia. He's literally telling the Secretary of State of Georgia, find me these votes, or you're going to be in trouble because I think you committed a crime. So you can expect some investigation into your criminal activities. This is authoritarian tactics. This is what people like Putin do, or Duterte. This is criminal. Like, there's another article, it's an opinion piece in the New York Times this morning, talking about how we need to impeach the president again. Impeach him again on his way out the door. I mean, it's a waste of time, but the fact that we're even having this conversation is ridiculous.
one more that we have.
Here we go.
So tell me, Brad, what are we going to do? We won the election, and it's not fair to take it away from us like this. And it's going to be very costly in many ways. And
in many ways,
I think you have to say that you're going to re-examine it, and you can re-examine it, but re-examine it with people that want to find answers, not people that don't want to find answers.
I don't even know what that means.
For instance, I'm hearing Ryan, and he's probably, I'm sure, a great lawyer and everything, but he's making statements about those ballots that he doesn't know.
He literally does know.
He
literally does know. He's been on the ground in Georgia during this entire election process, which has been dragging out for far too long because they had to do, three? I think Biden has won Georgia now 4 times. The president is literally speaking from a position of falsehood, of fantasy land, and it's all based on absolute horseshit. And he's making actual accusations to the integrity and honesty of a lawyer representing the state of Georgia in this election.
Take him with surety, but now I think he's less sure because the answer is they all went to Biden. And that alone wins us the election by a lot.
By a lot.
Mr. President, you have people that submit information, and we have our people that submit information, and then it comes before the court, and the court then has to make a determination. We have to stand by our numbers. We believe our numbers are right.
Well, under law, you're not allowed to give faulty election results.
Okay, so here's the next. This is his next. Now he's once again accusing them of a crime. The man who oversees the Justice Department in the United States of America is now, for the second time in this phone conversation, accusing them of criminal activity.
Okay? You're not allowed to do that, and that's what you've done. This is a faulty election result. And honestly, this should go very fast. You should meet tomorrow because you have a big election coming up. And because of what you've done to the president, you know, the people of...
I love when he does this a few times here. He starts referring to himself in the third person. The president, not me, the president, the president. He's almost disconnecting himself from the office, maybe to instill more authority to his voice or his position of the power. I honestly don't know, but it comes off so egregiously egotistical.
Of Georgia know that this was a scam. And because of what you've done to the president, a lot of people aren't going out to vote. And a lot of Republicans are going to vote negative because they hate what you did to the president. Okay? They hate it. And they're going to vote. And if you would be respected, really respected, if this thing could be straightened out before the election. You have a big election coming up on Tuesday.
Wow.
I mean, look, you'd have to be a child to think anything other than that.
Now he calls the Secretary of State of Georgia a child. And this man, to his credit, I'm going to continue playing this, but this man, to his credit, is as patient as I could believe any human being would be in this situation. I certainly would not. I would have probably had to resign my position right there for what I would have said to the Cheeto-in-Chief.
Just a child. I mean, you have your never attorney
How many
there.
ballots? How many ballots?
I don't know who this woman is in the background talking. I think it might be one of Trump's lawyers.
We had our law enforcement officers talk to everyone who was there after that event came to light. The GBI was with them as well as FBI agents.
Yeah, so they're talking about
There's
some...
no way they could. Then they're incompetent.
Yeah.
They're
They're talking about something that was supposedly happened, and the FBI's already looked into it, along with the audit people, and they found nothing wrong.
For the attorneys on my side, I'd like you to perhaps meet with Ryan, ideally tomorrow, because I think we should come to a resolution of this before the election. Otherwise, you're gonna have people just not voting. They don't want to vote. They hate the state. They hate the governor, and they hate the Secretary of State.
He's talking to him. He's talking to the Secretary of State and saying, your people hate you. They hate your state, they hate your governor, and they hate you too. My
I'll
God.
tell you that right now. And the only people that like you are people that will never vote for you. You know that.
Democrats.
Right?
He's talking about
They
Democrats.
like you.
I like him. He's right.
Like you. They can't believe what they found. They want more people like you.
That's not
So
wrong.
look,
That's the first truth. That's the first truth he's told in this whole thing. I'm a Democrat. I'm left of Democrat. I think he's great.
get together tomorrow. And Brad, we just want the truth. It's simple.
It's crazy to me. Crazy to me what you've seen in this. So there's more in here about this. Again, they fact check each of his falsehood claims that he's made. The Trump call right here. So here's a big article talking about how it's actually a violation of state and federal election law. You've had even Mitch McConnell, who I cannot stand. Mitch McConnell has very vocally come out against everything the president is doing right now. Now we have, I think it's up to 12 or 13 senators in that are saying that they're going to dispute or speak against the ratification of the election in Congress. Something like 150 House members are doing the same thing. I mean, I don't know how we got here. Now, first of all, on Wednesday, when members of Congress argue that the election was rigged, it's all a ploy. Nothing is actually going to happen. Nothing is going to come about of it. They need to have a winning majority in both chambers of Congress in order to overturn the election. And there's a pretty large majority of Democrats in the House, so it's already dead on arrival right there. Plus, you've also got prominent senators, traditional Republican senators that are not playing around with this. In addition, there was an op-ed written today. I think it comes out today, or maybe it was yesterday, in the Washington Post. 10 former secretaries of defense, including Dick Cheney and William Mattis, who, he was a Marine, and he was also Trump's Secretary of Defense, 10 former secretaries of defense telling the military, open letter to the military, do not get involved in this transfer of power. Don't let President Trump coerce the military into keeping him in office. How the hell did we get here? Seriously, how the hell did we get here? This is the kind of stuff you read about in books. I never, for the life of me, would have thought you would see something like this happen in my lifetime. And here we are. Here we are. And there's just, what is today? The 5th, I think? I don't even know what the hell the date is today. Today's the 4th. So there's 16 days left. 15 until it's over. I might be in D.C. I might be in D.C. for the inauguration. I guess there's not going to be any actual event per se, but I'm going to make every effort to get down there as long as I can get a scheduled COVID test before and after. If I can't get them scheduled, I'm not going anywhere, but I would love to be there. I would love to be there. I would love to be there just to be part of history, because I do believe there are going to be clashes in the street. I do believe that there is going to be some pretty heavy police presence. Not that there wouldn't be anyway for the inauguration, but I think because of what the Proud Boys and other sycophantic Trump supporters have been doing in D.C., I think it's a powder keg. And I think it's going to absolutely explode. So that's where I'm going to leave you. Oh, but actually, before I leave you, one of the things I said I was going to do during this process of being back into the daily videos here on the Daily Octane, I don't have any titling yet. I wasn't sure how I want to do any kind of graphics for this, but I was 217.5 pounds yesterday because I said, okay, I'm going to really start on Sunday. So yesterday, my girlfriend and I decided that we were going to start 30 days of eating mostly clean and no alcohol. So we started that yesterday. And so I was 217.5 on Sunday morning when I woke up. This morning when I woke up, I was 213 on the nose. Now, I didn't really lose 4.5 pounds. It certainly isn't fat. A lot of that's water because I was incredibly bloated from the things that I ate on Saturday and going into Sunday. And then, of course, the alcohol and all that kind of stuff involved. So, but I am exercising quite seriously. On Saturday, I ran 7 miles, and then yesterday I ran 3 more, and then spent 30 minutes on the bike too. So hopefully this is the beginning of kickstarting some weight loss. I would love to be back down in like the 180s before we get to the warmer months coming back, which is a couple months away. It's a realistic goal, and that's what I'm going to try to do. So anyway, thank you very much for watching today's episode of the Daily Octane. Check out a couple of videos that are popping up underneath me here right now. Keep an eye on the channel. Also, I don't know if you saw it. I started a gaming thing. I'm gonna post a few videos here over the coming days. In the evening, I'm gonna jump onto Twitch and play a few games and then upload probably some City Skylines and some Cyberpunk 2077, just to see if there's any interest in watching the Daily Octane do some gaming. So if you want to check that out, check out those videos. There's a really tech buggy video that I've made of City Skylines on Twitch. It was my first attempt. There was some mic issues and everything else, but I just left it up there. It's about an hour long. Go check it out if you want to. And again, the video's below if you want to see more of the Daily Octane. As long as there's election news, I'm going to talk politics. When that goes away, I'll talk about other things. Like I do want to talk about, I just recently watched, I watched the Cobra Kai Season 3, and tonight I think I'm going to watch the third John Wick movie and talk about that trilogy as well. So have a great day. Thank you for watching the Daily Octane, and I will see you tomorrow.